if something were to happen and the 49ers were to trade Deebo Samuel, would that be an even worse move than trading DeForest Buckner, which was not the most popular move?
Yes.
I agree.
Because
Go ahead.
Kyle Shanahan handpicked Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Right? You handpicked him, then you handpicked Jalen Hurd, and you could have had Terry McLaurin. And now you don't have Terry McLaurin, and you don't have Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
It would be worse. Buckner wasn't handpicked by Kyle, right? Like, Kyle went out of his way after you saw him at the Senior Bowl and said, that's my guy. Then you see how dynamic he is. And then you say, you have what? He has 2 more years, or he has 1 more year before the fifth-year option? Oh, there is no fifth-year option, right? Because he's second rounder.
Yeah, that's right.
So they have to get the deal done. It would just be a waste of everyone's time at this point. You didn't win a Super Bowl in the 2 years that he was largely productive, and now you don't have him. And now you lost out on another asset because you drafted him, and now he's not here for his second contract. What did you really get out of Deebo Samuel? And then you miss on Terry McLaurin. You could have had both of them. So it's just it would be much worse, because here's the thing. While everybody agrees nobody can duplicate what DeForest Buckner did in 2019 for this team, right? Like, it's going to be very hard for Javon Kinlaw to even approach anywhere near the production. I find it even harder for you to duplicate what Deebo Samuel just did because of the unprecedented season he just had. DeForest Buckner was an all-pro, but it wasn't unprecedented what he did. What Deebo Samuel did last year is unprecedented. 1,300 and 300. Nobody ever. Most rushing touchdowns by a wide receiver. Nobody ever. You're not going to find that in the draft. You're not duplicating that. And that just goes to speak of how special Deebo Samuel is. So, yes, I agree. It would be much worse.
Yeah, and when the Buckner thing happened, like, it was shocking, but I think fans kind of talked themselves into it. They didn't really realize that it was like a symptom of Jimmy making all this money, that they had to choose between Buckner and Armstead. They were just like, well, we like Jimmy. We just went to a Super Bowl with him, and would you rather have Buckner or Armstead and Jimmy Ward? And there was, I think, someone else in there too. So, yeah, I think a lot of fans got behind it. This one would be hard to get behind because losing Deebo Samuel wouldn't bring in anyone in free agency. It would be directly because the Niners kept Jimmy Garoppolo when they shouldn't have. And all the Niners can hope for, Niner fans, is draft picks to pan out. That's scary. I think that would be a very, very unpopular move, which is probably the biggest reason this might not happen.
And then, speaking of unpopular, I really believe that they prioritize Eric Armstead over DeForest Buckner because of his versatility. Kick him outside, you can kick him back inside. And
they love versatility.
That's it. That's the thing. It's like they're gonna draft 2 linemen that have either played guard and center or tackle and guard, just so they can move them around. Yeah. And I think that that's the way that they were thinking about it. So I know that that's not the answer you want to hear. I'm just trying to put myself in the mind of the 49ers front office when they made that move. But again, the people who are advocating for Deebo Samuel to get traded or saying that this is something they would explore are the same people that will look you in your face and tell you the draft's a crapshoot. Well,
yes,
I know what I have in Deebo Samuel. I don't know if Treylon Burks can be Deebo Samuel. I have a hard time believing that any of these guys. Right. The league has been looking to duplicate Deebo Samuel for 3 years. Have they found it yet?
No.
Are they just growing on trees? No. So This is why this can't really happen.
No, I don't think it can. Although I'm skeptical that it might. I think it might because of what's going on with Deebo Samuel right now. Clearly, he's unhappy, and I know Parag. I know how he does business. And if he was willing to basically draw the line on Trent Williams and walk away, and Kyle Shanahan, what?
Type it in the computer. Type the number in the computer for Parag. Parag's computer. You know how he does business. You type in the number, and then it pops up. No.
Yeah, he has a strict budget, and he does not waver, which was crazy because I'm sure he had Deebo in his budget 2 months ago, 3 months ago, but the wide receiver market has exploded, and I don't think people really expect – every time there's another – when the Devontae Adams signing came out, everyone was like, what? You can't do that. You just killed them. And it just keeps going up and up, and I'm sure Parag was not anticipating that, and I don't think he's thrilled about the idea of giving – Deebo Samuel, $28 million a year when he probably hadn't penciled in at 22, 23. And it's going to go up because of other teams' decisions. Parag doesn't like that. Kyle has to overrule him. Kyle might. Or Kyle might say, you know what? I don't need to spend $28 million on an offensive weapon. My scheme trumps. I need to spend $28 million on a left tackle. I'd spend it on a quarterback if he was great, but a weapon, I don't need to do it. And if that's the case, the Niners are going to go down a bad road. They need to get over yourself, Kyle. I hope I don't have to tell you that, but like Deebo's really important and he transcends your scheme. Don't do that.
You know who's the star of the offense, though? It's Kyle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think this is scary for Niner fans. They can sort of see this happening. And the thing is, though, like, look, Buckner brought back the 13th pick. I thought that was low. It's like he was the 7th pick. He improved. You couldn't get a top 10 pick for him. Deebo, on the other hand, 2nd-round pick that you might be able to get a first, a second, another second, maybe 2 firsts if they're both at the end of the 1st round. Niner fans might get excited about that, but still, it's like, man, how good at drafting is this team really? How good is it?
And that's the point. And that's the point. For every Fred, for every George Kittle, there's Solomon Thomas, there's Reuben Foster, there's Dante Pettis. And again, known commodities.
Yep.
Known commodities. What do I know? Yep. So I don't care about the value of the pick. You still have to get the pick right. And you still have to have that person pan out.
He's right in his prime. You want to trade him now? That was my other issue with the Buckner thing. I think he was 25, just about to turn 26. It's like, now is not when you trade someone like that. Trade someone who's 29. Not this guy. Anyway, so yeah, I think it would be similar to the Buckner situation, but worse.
Way worse.
Way worse.
His impact, I would argue his impact is far greater on this team, even in 2019, how good Buckner is, than Buckner ever was.
I would agree. Sean Heaney says, don't really want to make it tough. I just want to tell you that I've had enough. It might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, Jimmy. Bye. That was NSYNC. Thank you very much.
Yes,
that was a terrific NSYNC reference. They were